Alright folks, hello and welcome back to Downstage Gaming. I'm your host Josh, and this is part 26 of our Let's Play of Head as Code. Let's see, when we last left off, we went through quite a lot. I don't know, Hannah that we know is an android, Jasmine is actual Hannah, but with false memories of Jasmine put in her for some reason, and also a fake body, or something. And, also, there is no like, everything we thought about how this whole world works and being a horizontal train ride is actually false, where actually every single different thing is a different floor. We're going up or down, depending on where we're going. And there's maybe only one actual exit. They said that last time, and I still don't really understand that part. But, anywho, we're jumping back to this point, way back when A was basically trying to get us to stay with him to meet the twins, because everyone else wanted to go ahead. And this time we're gonna mess up everyone's plans. That's okay. Well, we've talked to all these. Is it A, the person that we need to talk to? I think so. Yeah. Okay. All right. This time I wanted to go as a team. Something in me clicked when I was given the choice. I decided to not wait for the twins, suddenly believing that would be a waste of time on my end. I had a feeling things would go pretty bad no matter what happened at that point. I didn't care if we had to redo the teams. Yeah, I'll go too. If Em and Ray go together, then that means I'll go with Jasmine. Hold on. E also wishes to go, so that puts us in an impasse. He still communicated what I said to E. In the end, E decided to stay back. See, E's the best. He's the only person here who's tolerable. That would be our teams then, but I'm not sure about our compositions. I first aimed for the teams to mix up between people who didn't know each other too well. Is there really a reason to do that, you think? Why, it might help us determine exactly what's being asked of us, of course. I don't believe Smiley took us random passerby for the streets without due cause. I mean, that's what I've been saying. As a result of this, I too have changed my mind and wish to head out. So we're just gonna leave the twins alone? That's just a fucking waste of time. Let's set off already. Maybe you and Jay could have a rock, paper, scissors battle to determine who heads out? I hate I hate when a sentence starts with A and means the person A. A looked at Jasmine, and the two of them nodded, glaring at each other. This is gonna be the tensest moment of this entire story, I think. The atmosphere suddenly turned quite serious out of nowhere. Wait, don't take it so seriously. My heart, it can't take it. S, stay out of this. I have an old man to flatten. Don't think I'll go down so easily, young lady. I've still got it. The two of them pulled their sleeves back, as if they would be going at it at full force. All I could do was watch as the two of them counted down. Finally, they opened their hands. I want there to be, like, everybody on the side doing some real, like, anime side characters commentary on this hot battle. In the first round, Jasmine lost. I told you. Victory is within my grasp. No way. We have to go for a best of 3. What? I hate all of you. It's the only way. I opened my eyes wider as they drew out the battle. Her competitive spirit was off the charts. From her body, I could almost see it float above her head. A menacing dragon. And from the old man, there was much of the same. A giant bird spirit, half bird, half lion. A griffin. The two of them locked into a battle for the ages. The dragon shook its hand in the air, closing it into a fist as the countdown resumed. The griffin's clawed digits did the same as they brought down their fists. Only the victor emerged from the duel. This time, Jasmine won and A lost. The dragon took a bite out of the griffin, severely damaging it. But it wasn't over. It was best of 3, so that meant, even with the two of them scoring 1 point and wounding the opponent, it wouldn't be over with just this much. The dragon roared, and the griffin screeched. The two went at it again. The final, decisive strike. Who would emerge victorious? At that point, I'd hidden my face behind my hands, unable to see the next skirmish in any way except through my fingers. On the side, Marco yawned. Ray glared at us. Could they not understand this was the decisive moment? This single battle could end the world's conflicts, or plunge it into eternal chaos. Finally, the two of them settled their final attack. As they did, dust exploded from the strike. I couldn't tell who won for the longest time. I have a very slow processing speed. A powerful wind came with their contact, and finally, the dust settled. The victor was clear to me now. As I opened my eyes to look through the clouds of leftover dust, I saw... Jasmine won. Devoured whole, the griffin returned to the aether. It had been a glorious battle, but none could stand against the dragon. I'll go with S then. She bore a victorious smile, bordering on smugness. I was taken back to reality when A grumbled his way back and explained the outcome to E. I almost felt bad when E's expression dropped a little. It's alright. I don't mind waiting here either. Explore at your leisure and find a way out for us, okay? Don't forget me. And make sure the twins are safe, A. Still dazed by the great battle of the dragon and the griffin, I made my way to the others who had been waiting for the train. See, we just had to wait anyways. It doesn't matter that we wasted time with this rock, paper, scissors nonsense. Ray finally arrived when Jasmine joined us too. This was a glorious battle indeed. I chose not to elaborate on what my mind had conjured up, and instead entered the train with everyone else. It was time for me to focus back onto the unearthing of the ninth person. I am a little surprised by that result, only because I thought that we would end up going with A, because he's one of the only people we haven't done a room with yet, whereas we've done a couple with Jasmine at this point. Well, at any rate, I'm glad it didn't take too long. I always hate waiting for these things. It's a waste of time, but what can you do? It's better than walking around or even driving in this fucking city. Traffic sucks. Yeah, and it's big enough that walking would take forever to get anywhere too. It seemed the two of them were on better terms. That's good. Oh, look, I'm rooting for you two. They could tolerate each other. Maybe getting over whatever they disliked about each other would be easier than anticipated. Or maybe it was just because Ray wasn't calling Marco a punk and Marco wasn't cracking a stupid joke for once. As the chime rang out for our departure, we waved goodbye to A. See ya, sucker. The train soon set off. Brocane Station, Security. As usual, the speaker spoke the name of the next station. This time, it was something like Security. I decided to leave at this one with Jasmine, since I was highly curious about it, and also because we'd never been there before. A security room. Would there be videotapes there? Perhaps Smiley made a mistake and we could see something from the cameras. That seems highly likely. Well, we'll go first, okay? Jasmine and I will explore the security room and report any findings we might have about what the cameras will have seen. Aw, man. I wanted to go there. Meh, I don't care. You two can do whatever you want. Not really romantic, though. That doesn't really matter to me. She glared at me a little. What was I supposed to say? That I wanted to take her to dinner? Now this is weird. Because, I mean, obviously Jasmine has been, like, suggesting through behavior and words that she does like Simon. Or is romantically interested. And so there's three possibilities in my mind. One, actual Hannah, for whatever reason, has feelings for Simon. Two, Jasmine's memories have feelings, and that's, like, interfering with her or affecting her behavior towards Simon. Or three, she's faking it either to blend in or to just cause chaos. I don't know. What was I supposed to say to that? That I wanted to take her to dinner? I mean, sure, would have been nice. I mean, I've got the restaurant picked out. I called for reservations already, but it wasn't really the time. Anyway, you two have fun. You seem like such a good pair. I rose up, and so did Jasmine as the station came into view. Yeah, we'll go have fun. Let's see. We could go play some games at the arcade, or go watch a movie. How about it, Ray? Ray wasn't very amused by his nonchalance. None of that in here. Station, security. And how do you know that? I left the train with... Yeah, there's a casino, if you guys are interested. I mean, it's kind of like what you want. Left the train with Jasmine as the two of them started bickering again. We decided to waste no time and enter the lobby. As soon as we were in, as was customary probably, the doors closed and the train outside drove off. So, this looks like all the other stations so far. I mean, the two sides have these lobbies, the doors closed behind us. She sighed, demoralized by the process we were stuck in. I know you prefer being a free bird, not caged. We better get going, though. No time to waste here. The night is still young, and we got to make it out so we can celebrate at home, right? Jasmine flashed me a smile. Yeah, let's check this place out and obliterate it. Utterly destroy it, leave no trace. She walked up the staircase without even waiting for me. I hope in the obliteration of this place we won't end up being caught by our own petard. It was time to see what this station really was. I stepped up the stairs, then wandered through a brief hallway. I saw one of its ends led to a locked room with a scanner in the middle, much like the other ones before. Suppers? Wait, we've been here before. When were we here before? This is bothering me. We came here with A. That's what it was. When A took us on our little journey, he took us here first. For some reason? Or he had to stop here for some reason, I think? I have vague memories of that. I'm pretty sure that was when we were with A. I just definitely remember seeing this stupid sign. I decided to head to a different room. A spacious one, and one I actually could enter. There was a doorway on both sides, both of them connected to a hallway linking us to either side of the station below. The third door led to another room with electronics. I left that one alone for now. This room's full of TV screens. Wonder who has time to watch all that. The security guards, of course. None of them are here. Besides, this is a station, remember? The Metro's security guards don't hang out in here normally. Yeah, when you get the sort of theming that the rest of this place, the rooms were generally meant to either, like, serve a functional purpose or serve as sort of, like, necessary or recreational purpose for people staying here. I'm not quite sure why a security room would be necessary for that, but, The Metro security guards don't hang out in here normally. Well, then we could watch all the Switchformers movies at the same time. Are you insane? You get a headache the size of the moon. I examined the monitors again. I once had a friend who was a security guard, and he kept talking about his job. Classic security guard. Can't stop talking about how great it is. The kind of stuff he saw on the monitors was seldom funny, or just plain weird. Things people did. Unspeakable. There was a control... If you've ever been a security guard, tell me about the weirdest thing you've seen. There was a control board in front of the screens, but I had no idea how to operate it. There's a side room, too. We should explore that one later as well. Why don't we split up? You go in there, and I'll stay here. Okay. Holler if you want to switch places. I nodded, agreeing to her plan while she left me alone here. Even if this room was a secured room, it was still, in its own way, very ominous. So let's crack it. Ooh, I'm seeing this on the floor, the little symbol that's always here. What does it mean? I mean, it's gotta be whatever, like, organization or faction Smiley belongs to, right? This symbol was weird. It looked like a red cross with a bunch of additional lines. Isn't this the symbol Smiley wore as a clasp? Must be really important. No more thinking about it, though. Alright, let's start up here. Hey, this is the same air conditioner as the lounge's AC. Let's think more about that. The same AC as the lounge? Wait, what lounge? Must have confused the AC with another. That's right, I forgot we now have no longer been to the lounge in this timeline. Do we even use this VHS tapes anymore? 90s kids, Simon. This is 2022 for crying out loud. Look at how much space this old age technology even takes. I looked through the tapes, hoping to discover something from a label or another. Alas, they were all unlabeled. Huh? Are they just empty? I took my search higher on the shelves. There, I found a few suitcases. Yeah, okay. Couldn't reach them, though. If only I would have been taller, or if something let me climb up there. Yeah, I can't see anything that you could use to maybe get a little bit higher. I could just shake this thing to get them down, but I'd get pelted by the VHS tapes and die a hilarious death. And sure, I could have taken them off the shelves first, too. Are you insane? Look how many there were. I could have done so, yeah, if I wanted to spend an entire hour doing that. I mean, this would take... If you weren't careful about it, if you didn't care, you could shove all these down on the floor in 5 minutes flat. Less than that, if you really didn't care. Finding some kind of ladder or anything similar was my only suitable recourse. I mean, I would just use this chair, so... Those could be used if I need to get up in some fashion. Well, hey, no gamers here, judging by the state of those sorry chairs. Where's my big, sweet gamer chair? Next to them were a bunch of empty boxes and a water cooler. Doesn't work since it's empty. Why does Smiley not give us water? I almost said Simon, and now I'm thinking about the fact that Smiley and Simon are kind of close in naming, and I'm wondering if that means anything. It would probably have been really easy to poison us if someone wanted to. They only needed to fill this thing up with water and put some poison in there, and boom, the moment we drank it, we'd be dead. Well, that's a fun thought. The thought sent a bad shudder through my spine. Ignoring that feeling, I moved away. Alright, let's use the chair to get up with these suitcases. I'm making clever use of nearby computer chairs, and I am using the word clever there with heavy quotation marks. I could add a few feet to my height, allowing me to reach the higher ledge where a bunch of suitcases were stashed. Still, when I got up onto the chair, it did a whirring, cracking noise, as if it was already on the verge of giving way under my weight. That's how you gotta kind of hold on to the edge here, like probably about here, that you're not putting your full weight on it as you get up. Hang on, buddy. We're gonna make it. I spoke to the chair, reassuring it. Hey, it does get better, chair. I grabbed a random suitcase, and instantly the chair broke apart, leaving me to fall to the ground with a loud noise. Ah! The room shook slightly, and some VHS tapes fell off the shelves, the majority landing all over my body. Well, I died anyway. Ugh. Okay, standing on computer chairs, not secure. I repeat, standing on computer chairs, not secure. I mean, how tall / how much do you weigh, Simon? I refuse, unless these are like the feeblest chairs in the world. And they call this the security room, too. I don't feel secure at all. I grumbled to myself as I rose up to my feet. I hope there was no other suitcase I needed to grab, because I figured I would have had to call Jasmine up. Yeah, isn't Jasmine taller than us anyway? Why didn't we just have her do this? Speaking of the devil, she just happened to wander back in. Are you okay? I heard a loud crashing noise as if the moon landed right in this room. A real Majora's Mask situation. Oh, I'm not that heavy! If you're in high spirits, then I guess I was worrying over nothing. She popped her head back into the other room. Thanks, Jazz. Real helpful. It's so weird to, now that I know that she's not Jasmine, it's just, it's uncomfy. I chased that out of my head, and then I tried to open the suitcase. You either do, or do not. There is no try, and I didn't. The suitcase was locked up by a bunch of screws. Oh no, at least I brought it down if we ever found a screwdriver. Or some coins. Classic escape room maneuver. Classic. I tried the one I kept from the bedroom, but it was too wide. Yep, screwdriver then. Well, I could still find a different size coin. Alright, what's in this little room? I could go through there if I wanted to switch. Oh, that's where Jasmine is. Switch with Jasmine, have her explore this room instead. Alright, well, let's get everything else here first, and then we'll switch. Supers? I don't get it. Is that a new brand of coffee? I bet it's related to a puzzle, you moron. And why are there plates stored here when it's clearly just a break counter? And this? Is this ketchup? And is this mustard over there? Is this a restaurant? I examined the burger thoroughly. I mean, this is great. Could I have gone for a burger on top of the sandwich I'd eaten earlier? Any day of the week. Any day of the week. The answer was yes. Burgers were always fine. Alright, Simon, you and I agree on something. Just had to decide if I trusted the burger. Trust nobody, not even your beef. I don't understand that. I mean, how can I not? How can I resist the sweet burger? I grabbed the burger and... oh, it was plastic. Something didn't feel right, though. I can hear a little clink clink when I shake it. Pulling on the burger a little, I managed to break it apart. Inside was a little key. Cool. Burger key. I only had to find where to use it now. Well, it's a good thing we're not totally dumb, or we might have just accidentally eaten our key. Let's let outside. No leaving until we solve these rooms. Okay. Probably a bad idea to pull that alarm. I mean, you don't know. I did it anyway. Alright, now we know. I thought maybe it would give Jasmine a scare. Hilarious. You know what? I love to scare my best friend when we're trapped in the Death Metro game. That's my good idea of a good time. But nothing happened. Alright. Wonder how many guards this place had. There were 18 screens lined up over 3 rows of 6, or in 3 sections of 6. All of them were shut down. In front of it was a console. I assume this was used to access security footage. Yet without it active, there was little I could have done with it, so I did little and made like a tree. Har har. These desks were reminiscent of office desks, not so much security desks. What? What is the meaningful difference there? What does a security desk look like? Then again, I didn't know what security rooms really looked like, so stop talking, Simon. Reminds me of my friend who used to work as a security... Who is this mystical security guard friend? Kinds of things people did on camera were always a good story. You secretly friends with Larry Butts? Is that what's going on here? I wonder if it's just because they knew someone was watching. On this desk was a bunch of electronics, a lamp, and some paper. On the other, much of the same. The computers didn't seem to work. And this chair, it looks really bad. I feel terrible for anyone who has to sit on that for an extended period of time. Makes me miss my gaming chair at home, so we're finding out that Simon's a real chair snob. No, it was not a really expensive one. Didn't have the money for that. Hold on, let me just lean back in my nice, expensive gaming chair. Oh, so comfy, Simon. Oh, I spent so much money on it. It was a simpler one, but it was still leagues above this sorry excuse for a chair. Alright, well, nothing else here, so I guess we're gonna swap places with, old Jay. Hey, Jay! Let's switch it up, okay? Before we do, wanna help me with the thing? Sure. What is it? Okay, oh, colors, is it? Came into the room. It was a lot smaller than I expected. In the back was some huge mess. It was impossible to see the top or bottom of what was stored there. A lot of shelves had piles upon piles of paper, and everything was locked up behind a gate. There wasn't even any space to walk, so if you wanted to get anything out, you had to remove what was in the front first. Do you want help removing all this? It would take forever. No, I found a screwdriver, but I can't get it. Is it too high in the shelf? I can get it down, no problem. S, I'm taller than you. No, nothing with the screwdriver itself. I think the box will open when we solve something else here. What I really need help with is this. She pointed the console with wires made of all colors in the world connected to various parts. Well, all the colors in the world wasn't right, unless one considered red, green, and blue all the colors in the world, which I get what you're saying, but not really true. Yeah, if you missed it, last time we found out that regular Jasmine can see colors fine, but apparently Hannah is colorblind, and that's come into play a couple of times here. Following that, she also handed me a piece of paper. There were diagrams to the wires, pointing at where each should be connected, though which diagram was the right one wasn't clear. According to this, we'll get a screwdriver. However, when we take it out, the door will slide shut. That means if we take it out, we'll be trapped here. Sounds bad. Let's not take it then. I'm pretty sure we'll have to. The idea is that one person will take it and shut themselves in, then pass the screwdriver to the other person on the other side of the door. The other person will use it, and then they'll send it back. If it's put back in the box, the door will open again. That way, they're ensuring we don't do anything they don't want us to do with it, like taking it to another room, for example. A weird way of handling it. There was nothing like that for the hammer I found in the bedroom. Uh-oh. Revealing the hammer a little early here. Yeah, we still haven't, in the other time, we never did anything with the hammer, despite some occasions when we probably should have at least, like, used it as a threat. Did you bring it with you? Yeah, I have it on me. Maybe we'll be able to make use of it in some way then. Do you think you can handle this wire stuff on your own? I took a cursory look over the piece of paper. It's like pretty easy. Jasmine's kind of a moron. I'll think about it. I didn't want to hurt her feelings, so I acted like I had to think really hard about it, leaning against a part of the console that didn't have a keyboard. In the meantime, Jasmine waved at me and left to examine the other room where she would be more useful. Alright, let's take a look at everything else, though, before we get there. Didn't know what these dials were for. Was this some kind of large battery? Even though I feel like the technology here is simple for this year, I still don't know how any of this works. Oh yeah, sometimes older technology is way harder to figure out than newer stuff. I brushed my hand in the back of my head, clearly embarrassed. You should feel great shame, Simon. This was a blank screen. Nothing happened when I pressed on the keys. Alright. If I pulled on any of these switches, the current would stop and we'd be trapped, probably. I bet some really important machine is running on these wires. From afar, I listened as the sound of a toilet being flushed was heard. What? Also, why are we getting this super loud, super realistic toilet sound? Yes, some really important machine. I looked for the fuse linked to the bathroom in this area, and then I flipped it off. From afar, I heard a scream as the lights probably went down. How well can your eyes work in the dark? What is this? Why do you have time for this? I talked to myself before giving her sight back, flipping the fuse back to on. Also, is there a bathroom in here? Why is Jasmine using it? God, you all deserve to be trapped in here. Alright, are we actually going to solve this? Or I unlocked the wires using the key I found in that burger. I wish I had a real burger instead of a key, but it was hard to argue the key was more useful right now. Then I looked at the piece of paper Jasmine left me. On it was a bunch of diagrams telling me how to operate this piece of junk. I had to put wires in this hole, and that one, a green here, red there, blue here, and over there. Didn't work. That was the first diagram crossed out. Tried the second, same thing. In order to make us waste as much time as possible, they probably made the last one work. Trying to solve this big brain style, I switched my method of elimination by going it from the end instead. That only made the job harder on me because, turns out the next diagram on the list was the correct one. I wasted some time trying them out from the end after going halfway from the start. Son of a gun. It's like he read my mind and knew exactly when I'd switch it up. Because he is you, Simon. That's my current theory, based solely on the fact that Smiley and Simon have 3 of the same letters in their names. Alright. Damn you, Smiley! You! Bah! The screens next to the wires lit up once they were all in. Hey, Jasmine. Hey, Jay, come here. I solved it. It was really easy. I didn't want to gloat, but I wanted to talk to her about this puzzle. It was hardly one anyway. The wires matched the configuration a lot. It had been really easy to figure it out. Why couldn't she have done it? Oh, good. You let Screwdriver's cat out. Screwdriver's cat? Don't you mean Schrodinger's cat? Also, the box isn't actually open yet. Yeah, Shroud River's cat, that's what I said. We all know about it. No need to explain it. No. Schrodinger. Ginger. Sure, let's go with that. So, how do we even know there's a screwdriver in this box anyway? Because it's got an indication on it. Look, it clearly shows a screwdriver. You're the kind of person to trust what you see at face value, huh? What are you getting at? Well, we can't be sure there's a screwdriver or not until we open the box. Until then, the box both has a screwdriver in it and doesn't. That's why it's called Schrodinger's cat. Because it may be alive or dead, just like there could be a Screwdriver or not. No, it's Schrodinger and screwdriver and what are you talking about? Are you trying to sound smart even though it has no bearing on our situation? You could have a character say that after any one of these in like 999 or VLR where they start talking philosophy. I'll have you know, Schrodinger's cat is a very important piece of theory for quantum mechanics. Now he has a car too. How many things can Schrodinger fit in his box? Slip of a tongue. Bah, feel free to call me back over when you really need my help, ass. She stormed out of the room after I made fun of Schrodinger's cat too much. I couldn't help it. At this moment in my life, even just the mention of that thing made me facepalm. Why? The topic of the wires completely escaped my mind, but at this point, she certainly wouldn't answer it until she simmered down. Alright, so screen turned on, right? Now that the screen was lit up, I could operate the keyboard. There was some kind of puzzle to solve, which was just angled around rearranging letters. The square with yellow and green operated like a tactile mouse. Quickly made work of this little thing, and then a nearby click echoed. It's so... What is even weirder to me at this point is that they did give us the one kind of puzzle in the church. But then since then, they have not given us any puzzles at all for me as the player to solve. Must be Screwdriver's cat box opening. Soon after that, Jasmine appeared in the doorframe. Did you get it? I heard something about screwdrivers. Yep, it's open. Okay. Whatever you did also activated something on the other side, so I'm gonna need the screwdriver now. There's a suitcase on the floor with a bunch of screws in it. Think I could do it instead? Brought it down, after all, and I'm also the player character. Let me do one thing, at least. I capitulated in front of her insistence. It was true, she hadn't done a whole lot yet. Agreeing to her demand, I reached for the box while she quickly slipped back, knowing the door would close. When I opened it and then took the tool out, the door shut as predicted. I sent the screwdriver over and waited patiently. Huh, this is weird. In this suitcase is some kind of technology thing. It can connect to the console in the back. The screens are on now. She paused for a little bit. Well, what's on them? Hold on, this is a bit strange. I'm gonna need your hammer. I think you can send it over to... Is that how escape rooms work? You don't... you don't bring a tool from another escape room and use it to solve a different one. My hammer? Really? Yeah. Please send it over. She asked more desperately when I questioned her. Shrugging, I took it out and slid it under the door, not realizing I could have just asked the screwdriver back and left the room. That would prove to be a strange mistake indeed when I suddenly heard something bizarre. The sound of glass shattering reached my ears. Did someone just jump through a window? No, there were no windows here. Is Jasmine abandoning us? Is that what's happening here? Well, maybe on the PCs there would be windows, but no, she's probably smashing the screens. Maybe the screens told her to smash them up. The PCs? Jay, what are you doing? I'm solving the puzzle, Sack. The sounds of windows being smashed, one after another, echoed through the dimly lit room. I couldn't understand what Jasmine was doing. What are you doing? I told you, I'm solving the puzzle. Almost there. Once more, I heard the sounds of some windows being smashed. Those were most likely the screens of the security console being destroyed. After a moment of silence, it seems as though she was done. The screwdriver and the hammer were both sent back under the door. What did you do? I put the screwdriver back in the box and quickly grabbed the hammer to stash it back in my coat. I stepped out and witnessed the outcome. I broke the screens because that's what I had to do. See, when I plugged in the stuff in the suitcase, they all lit up, but they didn't show anything because the battery wasn't strong enough. So I smashed them all. I smashed all the screens until only the one that mattered was left, and now they work. Well, there had to be an easier way than that, because, listen, the hammer wasn't part of this room, right? What if Smiley decides we did a real bad thing? You've been naughty little children, using the hammer in the wrong room. Oh, yeah, you're right. But I didn't see any other way, I swear. Come on, let's look up the security footage before we go. There has to be something worthwhile in there. What about the password? She pointed at the screen. Oh, right, it was currently displayed on it. We should unlock the doors downstairs first. Okay, I'll go that way. She hurried out of here, still embarrassed about her behavior. Yeah, this is maybe the most obvious bit yet, that her personality is much more like a Hannah's than a Jasmine. Sheesh, so hot-headed. Wonder what happened to you, Jasmine. I left the area to also take care of a door, entering the password quickly before coming back up the stairs. Within the next minute, we were back up. I had a thought for the screwdriver we had to leave behind. Goodbye, Mr. Screwdriver. I'd never forget you. The sweet times we spent together on that one summer night. The screen that hadn't been smashed was lit up, and I could see a live feed of one of the rooms. It looked like a church or something like that. Let's see what we have here. Now that everything was open, it was easier for me to sit down and use the console. It looked a little like a computer interface, so it didn't take very long for me to get used to it. Around the system were a lot of files. Folders upon folders numbered in strange sequences were lining up the database. If someone would have asked me how many files there were, I would have answered, a lot. The only way to refer to this many files. Try a random one? It's not like we can tell what they all are with those numbers. Normally, they're formatted based on dates, but in there, they're named strange things. I tried a random file as she suggested, but it didn't amount to anything. The file was corrupted. Another gave me the same result, and upon the third one, I gave up trying them without aim. This piece of shit probably has a check for corrupted files. Let's try to run a repair tool. Assuming it's not, as you say, a piece of shit. Well, it's running. While it's going, mind answering a few things for me? Jasmine inquisitively arched a brow. What did you find in the drawers you unscrewed? Oh, right, there was a piece of paper with a code. That's what I used to unlock the doors. Really now? I swear. It was as easy as that. Nothing else was required. So, all this with the screens. Oh, that was part of the puzzle too. I swear. Okay, so we could be like 95% sure now that she's lying then. The question is, what was she trying to hide? Like, what would have been there that she was trying to hide? If they were cameras, there might be some place that she's trying to hide, but I don't know what that would be or why she would care. It could be that there's some sort of message, sort of like the paper that we found that talks about like, oh, like one of you is not like the others or whatever. It's very possible that there was something there that might have hinted at her being someone else and she wanted to hide that. That's my current theory. She was lying. Jasmine was hiding something from me. I didn't care if Smiley needed to replace the screens. For whatever reason, he might need to do so. But what I cared for is that Jasmine wasn't giving me the entire truth. There had been something on the screens that she didn't want me to see. Was it personal? Was it worse? Was it incriminating? Before I could truly dwell on it, the check finished. There was only a single uncorrupted file remaining. I pulled it up and booted it, expecting a text file or something, but it was a video. Aha! Jackpot. Got some footage, boys. Ladies and gentlemen, we got him. Jasmine cleared her throat, but I was focused on the screen. On it was one of the twins and Ray, which is weird, because they shouldn't be together, so this is not now, probably, but sometime in the past. Narrowing my eyes, I leaned forward. What is this? They've never gone together, I don't think. They're doing weird Mario hops. On the screen, they were arguing. It had no sound, only picture. They were in a scanner room of some sort. After a while, the twin ran through the scanners. Huh? Is it live? No, it's a file. I looked over at Jasmine, who pointed at the screen as if to tell me to keep looking. The feed wasn't done giving us its information. Ray was panicking. He had his back to the wall, both of his hands grabbing onto the surface, as if he was trying to rip his nails off. Slowly, something was rolling back into focus. It was the twin's head. Wait a minute. Okay. On the screen, they were arguing. It's in a scanner room. After a while, the twin ran through the scanners. Okay, so I'm assuming that this is the bit when Ray comes back with Hannah's head. Right, because that's the one who it was. Yeah, Android Hannah's head. But if this is what happened, I don't know why... There's probably something else going on here that would incriminate him. I don't know why you didn't explain that this is what happened. Because, I mean, obviously she left without having what she needed to leave. Which, by the way, let me take a real quick detour here to mention... last time, we had a bit where Jasmine... Jasmine, who's actually Hannah, revealed that she could leave with Greta. And that those two could just leave. And I made the theory that in some way... there could be some kind of thing where they were having a number 9 together. I went back to the video of mine where they talk about what number everyone is, because Jasmine asked us what number we were. And I think I have the actual thing now of what it takes to leave the room. You have to go with the person that adds up to 9. Everyone has one person that they can go with that then adds up to the number 9. So, for example, I can't remember who was who. I believe it was Greta is 1 and Jasmine is 8, which adds up to 9. And if that is how that is, if I'm remembering correctly, it means we must be paired with E in order to leave, which makes sense because that was what we kind of did that one time in the very first ending. Ray must leave with Marco, and A must leave with Android Hannah. If that theory is what it is, which it makes too much sense that Jasmine Hannah is 8 and Greta is 1, and that adds to 9 for that to not be the thing. I don't know. Anyways, Twins Head. Oh my god! Huh? Josh spent so long on that detour. Finally, Ray looked around the room, seemingly scared from the occurrence. After a minute, he tentatively reached for the head. He grabbed it and ran out. Nothing happened afterwards. But now this is interesting too. If I can really quickly take another detour here. Because this suggests something that I've also had as a theory. Which, this video implies that this event happened in the past. And if I am right, and that this is the same time that Ray comes back with Hannah's head, and then he's all freaked out because he accidentally shoots Greta and other people later, you know, he has that whole paranoid breakdown thing or whatever. If that's true, that means that these aren't different timelines. They're, like, all happening one after the other. And again, fits into some kind of thing of, like, maybe we're all clones and they're running this whole situation, like, over and over again and just seeing what happens when people make different decisions. I don't know. That's a current theory. When did that happen? I don't know. One of the twins is dead? I hit the fast forward button. Nothing happened until a twin came back on screen. The other twin, the one still alive. After waiting for a moment, she stepped through the scanner. However, there was no head rolling back this okay, well, maybe I'm wrong. I don't know what this is. Nothing happened to her. That's weird. Rewind that. I looked closer at the screen while doing that. The scene played again. Pause it. I hit the button while Jasmine excitedly pointed to the image. Look, she got rid of it. The color's fucking gone. How could she do that? Something doesn't add up. Other than the fact Jasmine was swearing, which she only very rarely did, something was definitely not right. I rewound the feed to the... Alright, so maybe I'm wrong about because this didn't happen in that timeline. I rewound the feed to the very beginning and let it play again. We have to tell someone about this. If she could remove her collar... No, I think it's best if we don't talk about it with the others for now. If one of them really died, then that means Ray's gonna do whatever it takes to hide it. In his urgency, he might decide to silence those who know. It's clearly not his fault. The twin runs out on her own, but who's gonna believe him? Especially if one of the twins is gone, too. Wait, does that mean they had the 9th person in their room? Jasmine remains silent, uncertain. Yeah, that doesn't make sense, because neither of them would be partners with Ray. But if she doesn't have the collar, then it doesn't matter. That's the thing. She doesn't have a collar on, so it doesn't matter. I decided to do a final cursory check. First, I looked at the file's name, trying to see if it would help me figure out when it was recorded, but no dice. Once again, just like the rest, it was named by a number, but it was far too high to be considered a date. I briefly considered it maybe in seconds, like if it was X seconds after the dating game started, but I figured it wasn't it. Okay, let's go then. This could cause unnecessary strife if people found out about it. First, we have to see what happened to the twins and what Ray's state is. Yeah, let's go, on the double. 2 of us ran away from the room, then quickly down the stairs. At the lobby, I almost tripped and mashed my shoulder against the wall. Ugh! I shouldn't be such a daredevil. Running on stairs? Are you okay? Jasmine called from the station. I joined her right afterwards, where we waited for the train. Yeah, I'm fine. I knew we should have waited for the twins. Didn't you want to head out? Yeah, but I always felt like that might have been the better outcome. I was just too curious, I guess. She sighed, clearly worried over the choice she had made earlier. And after winning the battle between the dragon and the griffin, too. I understood her worry, anyway. It was the same for me. I should have remained behind to check on the twins. Now I just wanted to see if they were fine. There was no time to waste, even if we would be too late already. The train arrived. We boarded it. After the little chime, it set off, and the only thing eradicating the silence was the announcer's voice from the speakers. Brocane Station, Lois here. While the train was moving, I thought about the situation again. Alright, and we'll think about that situation again when next we return. Again, quite a bit to, in that ending bit. That's a head-scratcher. Because I think there's no way that those events actually happened right here, right now. I just don't see how that's possible. Unless things are really weird, time-wise. Because Ray went with Marco. I just don't see a possibility in which Ray did that room, comes back, goes with one of the twins, and then ends up, you know, in that whole situation. And again, that situation is so close to the one when Ray comes back with her head. The only thing that's off about that is the other twin leaving, which doesn't make sense, and leaving with their collar off. Alright, well, we'll consider it. We'll think about it. We'll come back. We'll think about the situation again. Until then, this has been Downstage Gaming. I've been your host, Josh, and I will catch you all next time.